Hey Trailheads, it's JD, and I've got a quick pit stop for you. We're all about building a community here at the Trailhead, and we want to hear from you. Got questions about the latest gear, a burning topic you want us to dive into, or maybe you've got some killer trail recommendations? We're all ears. Getting in touch with us is a breeze. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook at the Trailhead Podcast, drop us an email, or even give us a call. Plus, don't forget to check out our website, thetrailheadnetwork.com, for all the latest episodes and more. So, if you want to be part of the conversation, reach out to us at 719-408-0132 or hit us up online. Your voice could shape our next episode and even be on our next episode. Now, let's get back to the off-road action. On this first episode of the Trailhead Podcast, we're going to get things off to a fast start and introduce you to your hosts and what we aim to do here. We'll chat about some core off-roading gear you should have before heading out. We'll talk some news and, in general, try to get our footing here. Buckle up. Welcome to the inaugural episode of The Trailhead, your essential guide to the expansive off-roading, overlanding, and outdoor exploration. I'm JD, one of the hosts, who'll be steering you through this adventurous journey. From Mexico's desert trails to Canada's backcountry wilderness and all the dirt roads that connect them, we've got your tracks covered. The Trailhead isn't just another off-road podcast. We aim to dig deeper into the stories, culture, and issues that matter to our community. You'll hear from a diverse team of passionate hosts, including myself, as we explore topics, each flavored with our own personal stories and specialized insights. In each episode, we'll tackle essentials like self-recovery gear, trail reviews, and of course, the latest debates over land use and access rights. Our episodes are designed to be as rugged and versatile as your favorite trails, and will feature in-depth discussions, expert advice, and questions that we want to answer from our community. So get your radio, air down your tires, and throw it in 4-low. We're about to kick up some dust and ride this trail together. Welcome to the Trailhead. So real quick, my name is JD. I live in Monument, Colorado now. I grew up in Chicago. Chicago was my home for 35 years, and while it was great, it didn't really provide me the off-roading experience that we have now. And when we came out to Colorado, the first thing I did with my old TJ was head right out into the mountains with it, and then promptly ran it into a tree. That's when you learn quickly that you have to respect snow in the mountains here. And ironically enough, the house that we lived in first was about 20 minutes from here, and now we live about 5 minutes from the trail that I actually destroyed my TJ on the first time. We got that fixed up, and then I spent the next couple of years running around with that until I had another vehicle that was broken. The other vehicle got destroyed. I had about 20 grand not laying around, but I had 20 grand to spend on a Jeep and went to the dealership, ended up with the yellow one that you guys have seen on my yellow JK. Shortly after I got that Jeep, I had started going around and trying to find trail resources here in Colorado, figuring, I got myself into trouble once. I shouldn't do that again. How do I figure out how hard or not hard these trails are? How do I figure out what's open and what isn't, what's still snowed in, what isn't? And I found everything lacking. And then I spent 3 hours driving from what I thought was an open trailhead, according to the website that I went to, that had been closed for over a decade. And at that point, then I started working I started looking again online for a new trail resource. And that's when I found the Trails Off-Road guys. And I started writing for them in the summer of 2016. And I got about 150 trails with them now. And that is my favorite pastime. I love doing that. Just it provides me a little income now, which is awesome. But more importantly for me than anything else, it's just fun to do. It's fun to get out there and just kind of document stuff that some people see, some people don't. Like I've got a couple of the Badge of Honor trails, but the more interesting trails for me are the side trails that nobody's ever heard of here in Colorado. So that's about it. It's me and my wife. My wife, Randy, I'm sure at some point you'll meet her. If you come in here more often, I'll have her join us as well. And then she doesn't drive as much, but as I was telling these guys, she loves to tell me exactly what she doesn't want to do, mostly shelf roads. So
she just needs to hang out with me for a few minutes, and then I'll influence her to to do a little bit more. I think that's my MO, is to get all the girls on the trail.
And see, I telling you, all she needs is a little bit more confident. She's done some wheeling. I know she prefers to kind of take pictures and be in the passenger seat, but I know she would be a lot more confident if she was doing a lot more of that stuff. I think she still won't do shelf roads, but I might be able to get her to do some of the more canyony stuff in Utah.
Give me a boulder and I'm all day. I hate shelf roads. I totally agree with her.
I understand.
We still haven't done Cliffhanger in Moab because of that.
Really? See, I really want to do chicken corners.
I'm not willing to do Cliffhanger.
We're willing to do it. We just haven't. But initially, that was one of the ones our friends recommended. We were super scared to even try it because it's.
Well, and then you hear all the horror stories about it, and then you find out you read some of the reviews, you're like, okay, it's not necessarily as bad as you thought it was, but still, it's not great.
See, I'm less scared of Cliffhanger and more scared of Black Bear Pass. That's the cliff shelves that I'm like,
and see, I look at Black Bear Pass, and I'm just like, that's just a little bit of a cliff, and then you kind of go around a corner, but that's it. Like, if that's all it is, that's 10 seconds of fear. I'm good with that. I can deal with that.
It's the switchbacks that scare me.
Is Black Bear Pass is Black Bear, because I'm not too familiar with the West Coast wheeling, is Black Bear Pass the area where that Jeep took that tumble a couple of years ago?
What I like to tell people a lot is that most often when you hear those horror stories and you see that horrible video of that Jeep tumbling, that it was a red Jeep 4-door tumbling end over end, that guy was parked. Mm-hmm. He wasn't coming down the cliff or anything like that. He was parked. He had gotten out to take some pictures, and he parked too close to the edge, and his girlfriend was in it, and she went end over end. Yeah, it was not good. But most often, that's usually what it is. It's not people that fail at that cliff level. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard from a lot of people it's not that bad. I just hear about the
It's the mental challenge. It's the mental challenge. You got to get over the switchbacks. My favorite trail here is Argentine Pass, and it's 2 major switchbacks. And those 2 major switchbacks, they take you up 1,000 feet in very short order. And my wife did it the first time we did it here, and that's when she realized she had the fear of heights. She had never gotten up like that before. And then when I got home and told her that 1,000 feet was the height of essentially the Sears Tower, she's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. I don't ever want to do that again. I was like, okay, well, in that case, then I guess we're going to have to divvy up what we do together and separately. But that's all right. We can manage. I'll leave you down at the mine. It'll be fine. And the only other guy that you guys will probably get to know over the period of time is Hades, and he's our puppy dog from. We rescued him a few years ago after we lost both of our other dogs. And he just goes out with us all the time now and is pretty much the source or where all my money goes other than the Jeep. Since we've got Jason, let's go to you next since we've got you for less period of time. I think we'll have plenty of time to do this today, but just to make sure. So go for it, man.
Cool. I'm pretty much an introduction of myself.
Yeah. Just to introduce yourself.
I'm Jason, the driver of Ruby Red Jeep, and I've had my Instagram account for about, I would say 6 years or so. And as I said before, I am on the East Coast, so I feel like I have a totally different perspective because I'm not, if you guys follow my stuff, I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm about maybe 85% on road and the rest is off road. You guys, I in a way, I look up to you guys because you guys legitimately go off roading constantly, and it's awesome, and seeing you guys, with your content. But yeah, so basically, I had a Mazda 6 that got stuck in the snow constantly, and I've always wanted a Jeep. So I thought to myself, you know what? When I pay off this Mazda 6, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to buy myself a Jeep because I need to get to work. I'm a first responder, so we don't get snow days. So whenever there's a blizzard,
Yeah.
I need myself a Jeep. So I ended up getting a Jeep, and ooh, doggy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I got
the same problem
sidetracked.
too. I'm over here going, yeah.
Yep. I ended up getting a Jeep with the intention of battling through New York City snow, or New York snow in general, because upstate, now that I live upstate, we get a lot of snow up here too. But so ended up doing that, and then I went off-roading for the first time probably about 6 months after purchasing my Jeep, and I got bitten by the off-road bug, and ever since I've tried. It's awesome. It's just I try to go off-roading as much as I can personally, but obviously life gets in the way sometimes, and here on the East Coast there isn't
How far
many
is the
places
nearest
to go
park from you?
off-roading. The nearest official off-roading park is Roche Creek, and that is in Pennsylvania, and that is about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive from where I live.
And without admitting to where
it's
or having done anything in
ways.
your past, how close or far is the unofficial?
The unofficial trail is about literally 8 minutes from my driveway.
It's not terrible.
Yeah,
but
so it's not too bad. But,
that's okay.
It's pretty
This
unofficial.
whole part now, we can just edit this part out. We don't have to admit anything here in this moment. This is just for our information.
Oh, throw it in
you
there.
didn't admit to anything, so we're good on that level.
Exactly. No
Have you
names
ever
of
been
trails or
out
anything like that. So
place essentially west of the Mississippi yet, or are you still kind of? How long ago did you purchase your Jeep?
I factory ordered it December of 2017, and I took the delivery of it of February of 2018. So I've had it for a few years now. But the farthest I've ever driven with my Jeep, honestly, was Virginia, Washington D.C. area, which is obviously still on the East Coast. But I haven't ventured out to the Midwest or out west with my Jeep whatsoever. Not yet,
That's
at least.
You just need to come out.
I'll get there.
We're out here.
Yeah, man. See, and that's the thing now is
I can't wait.
And
That's my dream road trip.
Here. So I'm 5 minutes from trails here. How close are you guys to trails there in Utah?
So it depends on where you want to go. We're 3.5, 4 hours from Moab and San Hollow.
Okay, that's not bad.
Our favorite trail to go flex out our Jeeps. It's not really a trail. It's an area that we call Little Moab. It's about an hour away, probably.
About an hour.
Yeah.
We're about an hour. I mean, but the cool thing is we're like kind of in the center of the center place of Utah, where we can get to like Vernal, which is really cool. We can get to Price in 2 hours, Vernal in 2 hours, Moab in 3 hours, Sand Hollow in 4.
How far are you
I guess American
from
Fork Canyon's only a half hour away. That's the closest.
American Fork Canyon's about half hour away. We have it all around us. Like, we're literally like so lucky. Like, we have everything from desert to like mountains.
Oh,
Just to let you guys know, I'm totally jealous. I'm legitimately jealous.
And I think all of us would agree that those of us who live out this way are all grateful for the fact. Like, if I still lived in Chicago, I wouldn't be doing any of this. So I got nothing.
But I do want to get back east because I really want to try those rocks and play around on those rocks. Like, I'm kind of like, I really want to get out there too.
Well,
see
and
how
there's
our
some
desert
good...
Jeeps held up.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you guys all about Drummond Island sometime. That was a lot of mud. That was way more mud than I can ever. I think I'm still getting mud out of my Jeep. So
our favorite places are down in San Hollow.
Just in case you guys,
So we're so excited about Trail Hero coming up because that's going to be reunited with all our friends and
they announced
wheeling the best place.
They announced that music lineup, and I was almost like, oh, I really want to go. I don't know if I could deal with the crowds, but I really want to go.
Oh, we're going to be tailgating out there during the POD concert.
See, that's what I'm
Just
talking
come.
Yeah. It's going to be quite a spectacle. I bet all the Jeeps out there with their different lights on out and
We'll
stuff.
see if I get my Jeep back in time. If I get my Jeep back, we'll see. That's a whole nother ball game that's a whole nother ball of wax to talk about before the end of today. Pope and Randy, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Just kind of give us an idea who you are and what you do and yada yada. Anything you'd like to tell us about yourselves?
So we're Pope and Randy. We've been Jeeping like we do now for about 3 years. Prior to that, we would drive our Jeeps to work and go camping with them.
25 years.
The way that So for the last 3 years, we got interested in rock crawling. We decided when we bought our 2 Jeeps on the same day on Halloween we would build them to go play in Moab, and we thought we would do fins and things and maybe Hell's Revenge. We took one look at Hell's Gate and said, oh, hell no. We're
Never in my life will I do that. And now it's like, oh.
Hell's Gate's not that bad.
I know. Well, that's just a funny thing. But it's like the first time you see it, you look at that. And my friend was with me, and I looked at it, and I told her, I said, Mom, just don't worry. I'll never do that. And now I'm doing like Fallen and San Jose.
Yeah, exactly.
We're out here doing nines and stuff that's way more sketchy than the Hell's Gate.
We just laughed.
But we still respect Hell's Gate when we're on it, because you F it up, you can tip over. but the line is super easy.
We'll talk about my thing later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so that's kind of how we got started. We went to Moab and had the opportunity to just have a guy take us out on the trails and show us 101 basically. And then we met some people out here that helped us learn, and then we went out to Moab a couple more times. And the first time we went to Sand Hollow, our friends got us on the trail with Colt from Bleepin' Jeep, Holly Mischief Maker, and this guy Glenn Plake, and we were slowing them down so bad it was like the worst day on earth for them.
We were so new, and we're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just like fell asleep watching YouTube, and now I'm on the trail, and this is really weird. But we learned so much that weekend; it was insane, and then it was kind of like insert the needle, and we've been playing it for so
I mean, that's some serious trial by fire, And Jason, I hate to tell you, but that's kind of what you're in for if you come out this way. We're just gonna throw you to the fire, my friend.
I'm looking forward to when. Let me be optimistic. When I eventually make it out to the West Coast, I'm definitely gonna trailer my Jeep because I'm expecting some damage.
That's a good idea, my friend.
I mean, you might at least get scratches if nothing else, but we've broken everything you can break.
And that's the thing, is that it sounds like a lot of fun, Jason, until you start getting the bills for all the repairs and all your own wrenching that you have to do to try to get the shit fixed.
It is a Jeep thing. Some of the wrenching we're absolutely love doing, and some of it we're terrified to even try, and we won't.
And don't feel bad about that at all. Yeah, I think
I can imagine.
Sometimes in this community, I think there's a little too much emphasis put on, wrenching it yourself, and you got to do this. It's built, not bought. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's great, except I don't have all of those skills to be able to do that. They were calling me about my Jeep today, and I was just like, you're going to have to explain to me like I'm a 12-year-old exactly what is wrong with the Jeep, because I don't know about all of the mechanics of it. I know some of it. I know enough to be dangerous. I could put a zip tie in, I think, the right thing. But... Yep. As far as fixing it every time, no. I can run my own electrical these days, and that's about where I run. I admit, like I could maybe replace an alternator if I was feeling frosty.
We're kind of the same. Like the first time we broke a radiator or got a hole in a radiator hose, it was a 3-day ordeal for us. And the second time we watched him fix it. And the second time it was a radiator hose, it was a 45-minute problem on the side of the road.
No,
and we just cut the hole off and shoved it back in, and now we have radiator hoses in our kit, so it will never happen again.
Yep.
Lesson learned, right?
Yeah. They're really new. They're not new anymore, I guess, because we've been smashing the crap out of them. But
you've broken everything. They're not new anymore. I hate to tell you that.
Yeah, the Misfit is a 2020 Gladiator. The last time people have seen him in public, he had a bob bed. He still has the bob bed. 42-inch tires. Everything is like highlighted in the dark green, lime green blend. I guess it's like an ombre, you could say. And it had King shocks on it. The new setup is going to be the double throwdown setup with 14-inch coilovers. Nice. So the double throwdown we'll have the double throwdown triple bypass in the front, 14-inch coils in the back. I test drove it last week. It was the best it's ever felt in the history of it. Even when it was stock, it never felt that good. So, and it's getting its shocks tuned this week. Probably be done next week, and then I get to start putting some more crap on it. Get it ready for Trail Hero.
That's usually.
Randy, why don't you tell them about Jim? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, are you showing the Jeep at Trail Hero, or are you just to have?
Yeah, we're just driving it on the trails of Trail Hero like normal. Okay. We're not going to put it in a booth or anything. Motobuilt will probably have us running around with them quite a bit because we're brand ambassadors for Motobuilt. So they'll be making us do a bunch of trails with them and getting a bunch of content. last time we were out with them, they could only film the back of my truck because the front half had all their competitors.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And so we have a lot of pictures of the back of my truck on their Instagram, but nothing from the front, obviously.
That's all right. And I'm telling you, man, you got to get those video and those picture coffers filled so that you got something to do with yourself for the 6 months out of the year when you can't wheel, right?
Yeah. And we spend a lot of time building during the year. Like we'll go do the events and play around, and then we usually do 1 or 2 big builds a year, one for each of our Jeeps a year.
Nice.
We might be done with that, though. I think we've kind of
we are done with that.
I think we've kind of hit the line.
Are done with that. We are going to fix and drive. Like that's all we're doing. Like
right.
You know,
I've heard all of those things before. I've said all of those things before.
I have a wish list. Like I'm not being stupid, but like we have done so much to these Jeeps in the last 2 years. We need to like just be in them and do them and wheel together and have fun.
Like we haven't had them together this whole summer since EJS.
Yeah.
And
so
since EJS, either Randy was getting her build done, or Misfit was getting his build done, or Hologram was broken.
Or Randy broke Hologram on a trail.
Hey Trailheads, it's JD. Love the show? Help us keep the rubber on the trail. Leave us a review wherever you listen and shout us out on social media. We'll be sure to return the favor. But you want to do more? Visit our Buzzsprout site and drop us a few bucks. Every dollar goes right back into making this show even better. And stay tuned. We're exploring a subscription like Patreon for exclusive goodies. So thanks for the love. Now let's get back to it.
Because she hadn't been able to drive her Jeep for a while. Yeah.
So
I decided to take her hard on an obstacle, and it was not. It's like,
Again,
and he's yelling out the window, "That's our commuter! That's our grocery getter! Stop it!"
At the end of today's episode, I will tell you all about my stupidity.
The witch's staircase and broke it worse.
Oh, there you go. See, at least that's a respectful break. I will give that to you. At least it's on an actual obstacle.
It was a funny one. I thought I was in Misfit, and I took the 2-door up it.
He forgot. Like all of a sudden, no, I'm not kidding. I'm sitting in the driver's seat of Jem, and I'm watching him approach, and I'm like, he thinks he's in Misfit. And I literally, my radio fell off the thing, and I'm trying to grab it to tell him to stop, because I could tell how he was driving Hologram, that it wasn't Hologram that he was driving. Right. And all of a sudden, he's on this obstacle on a 2-door, he's so used to that wheelbase, and he was jumping jack. It was the scariest. I was like, no!
I ended up gassing out of it to keep myself from tipping over, and I then ended up, the front end smashed down so hard, the steering wheel was stuck upside down after that, and it can only turn about 24 degrees.
It killed the truck. He killed all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it destroyed a lot of stuff. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I know that story too. Yeah.
That sounds like
it can be.
So,
yeah.
You go from I went from the Gladiator that's built super tough to Hologram on 37.
Those things are long. Yeah. That was my big
long, and I'm used to how long it is.
It's just so long.
Totally different wheelbases.
Yeah.
Because that's what I could tell is I'm like, he's approaching it like he has a longer wheelbase. There's just no way that he thinks that he's going that way. I don't know what he's doing. And I just started freaking out. I couldn't tell him to stop.
I'm pretty sure your radio falling was a pretty oh shit moment.
I had a heart attack. You should have heard me. I was screaming from the car, trying to get him to stop.
Oh, is that I think I saw that. Did you post that video to Instagram? I feel like
There's
you did.
no video of it because he just went. And then I couldn't even function fast enough.
But I did do something. I took the 2-door down Mickey's hot tub.
That was awesome too.
And getting it out of the hot tub, I don't know. I don't wheel this Jeep a lot, right? So if this was the Gladiator, that's a walk in the park. But the 2-door, I don't know if it's going to tip or if it's going to make it. It could go either way right there. And so I ended up pulling cable after. They shouldn't have stopped me. I think if they wouldn't have stopped me, we would have went straight up. But I actually got to the point where this feels way light. Let's just pull the cable now.
Oh my God! Funny story. The first time Light Bright ever went out, before they were Light Bright, they were still just Kevin and Brittany. That was literally their first time wheeling was with me on Hell's Revenge and on Porcupine Rim. on one weekend, and they did Mickey's hot tub, and I just like, I don't think I want to with my two-door, and I'm so glad in hindsight that I didn't, because I think I would have been in that same scenario, and those guys didn't have a winch.
I let myself get talked into it, and I shouldn't have. I was like, no, I know better.
This is the best part about it. He has this delusion of who he is. He's the one who said,
man,
I said,
I don't know if
you
it's such a
want
good
to
idea. I
take...
should be able to call you on
You
this.
want to take...
I should be able to call
like,
you on
"Do
this shit
wanna
real
take
time."
Gem? And he's like, no, I'm going to take hologram. Like, there was no talking him into it. He just said,
I should have took Gem on it and
I
left
like-
hologram alone. That wasn't the demise of hologram that trip. It was an hour later.
That sounds about right. All right. Randy, so what about yourself?
So we've been wheeling about 3 years, and then I have Gem, and she is a 2020 JL 4-door, and she's on 40s, tons, 14-inch coilovers. She's a beast. She's so much fun. Like, she's like the perfect wheel. She's like, she's my dragon. Like, everybody talks about how they're like, everybody's like, well, they're kind of like your horse. Like, you get to know them and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's not a horse. It's my dragon. So she's a good time. She's makes me feel like a superhero sometimes. She does all the work for me. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
It's fun. I love it. I think the reason, for me, it's about hanging out with this guy. And we do it together and learning it together. It's been really fun for us, like, to figure this whole thing out. Like, a lot of our couple friends, like, the husband wheels and then the wife starts, and then it's kind of complicated, you know. It's like and we were stupid together, so we couldn't get mad at each other when we were stupid. So it was kind of awesome to, like,
I mean, and that's the moment
experience.
you get. Yep. Everybody gets a moment to act and look stupid doing it. Yep, that's awesome.
Exactly. So no, we had a lot of fun, and we will almost every weekend. I mean, if we can, we try to get out. It's just our outlet. I'm a hairdresser, and I love my job. I've been doing it for 25 years.
That's fun.
And I deal with a lot of people, and so being alone in my car and just in my, like, to get out of my thoughts and my things, it's healing for me, and it, like, kind of makes me better when I go back to work and stuff. So that's really it for me. I just love it's like it's my therapy.
That's awesome. What do you do during the day, Pope?
I'm a software engineer during the day. So I work for Broadcom, and I worked in the cybersecurity part called Symantec that used to be part of Norton.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of a real fun job. I've been there for so many years. But when the company I started at a few years ago has been bought like 5-6 times, and every time it's been good for us to get bought.
Yeah, I work in cable TV, and that's kind of how it's been for me over the years.
Yeah, it's fun, but the wheeling definitely is the therapy that is needed. I'm actually outside doing something that's fun and getting exercise and solving problems that are different than the stupid bits on the screen.
Exactly.
It's great times.
Jason JKU, 1 second, and we'll talk with you. Jason Ruby Red, what do you do during the week?
During the week, besides work, because
right.
I work so many hours, it's insane. Yeah, but besides that, I have so many hobbies that I can't even keep up with all my hobbies. Besides just, I guess, attending to my Jeep in general. If you see behind me, I have a drum kit. I'm a musician, so I've been playing drums and guitar for about 25 years at this point. But yeah, I do a bunch of stuff. I play hockey.
What is your day job?
Yeah, I have so many hobbies.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm a police officer,
awesome.
actually. Yeah, I used to keep it, to be honest with you, I used to keep it a little hush-hush on social media. But after, I'm over 10 years in, and after having my account for 6 years, people already know. A lot of people already know, even though I don't really say it.
I tell people all the time.
So
I
basically,
work
that's
for a
what I
cable
do.
company, and as long as you just you try to keep those two worlds a little bit separate, you can still say who you are and who you work for. I think that's okay.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jason
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
Carnes.
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Okay. Are you still working yourself out over there?
Well, I just woke up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can come back to you in a minute.
No. I'm good. I drank too much, fell asleep. My bad.
That'll happen, my friend.
That didn't work. Lily, help me. Hang on. Give me just 1 second.
Sure, okay. I'm going to mute you for a second while we chat.
Oh,
Hey, Lily.
They said hi, Lily. There we go. My bad. So
It's
actually,
okay.
thank Lily. She just woke me up. I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's all
actually
good, man.
thought I was good. Apparently, I drank too much and I fell asleep.
That'll
Yeah.
happen. I mean, it is Friday, and kudos to you for actually getting the weekend started before me.
Yeah, it was good. All
So
right.
where are you at, man?
I'm on my couch out back in my house.
I mean more in the esoteric. Where are you physically located in the world?
I'm in Washington State, up
Okay,
in right now. How the hell you say this place? Puyallup, Washington.
okay. And you guys, I seen you get your Instagram now. You guys got a decent amount of wheeling there, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of wheeling here. It's just phenomenal.
How long you been there and doing that?
So I moved up here, and I think it was 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, prior to that, I was out in Hawaii for 21 years.
That's a long time to be in Hawaii, and there isn't a ton of off-roading out there. I've looked.
There's not. You kind of got to get in with the locals in Hawaii, and then there's a few places out there, and the places they do have for wheeling in Hawaii are pretty phenomenal. It's a good time.
Okay, that's fun. My wife has only been on the road to Hana, and that was she said that made her nauseous just to drive around.
Oh, yeah. You're banging your head out the out the side windows all the time. All that back and forth,
The back and forth, the
Yeah,
switchbacks.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
ugh, it's not fun at all. So when you would just kind of go over some of the stuff, we when you kind of came in, we were just kind of getting the breakdown from Randy and from Pope. That is the gem and the misfit there in the one corner. The other Jason, we'll have to figure out something to call you guys. The other Jason there is in New York, and we just kind of get done with our intros. And since you kind of got here at the good time, so feel free to just kind of introduce yourself. Just and give you as a side note. When this goes to edit, I'll try to get out a lot of the pauses and kind of any of the weird camera angles or anything like that. All of that will get fixed later. So just kind of introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm Jason, and I'm from Washington State right now, originally from Pennsylvania. I've been in the military for about 28 years. I love off-roading, obviously my life outside of the military. And yeah, I like to party. Outside of that, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So about 4 years or so. Did you? All right, Trailheads. Quick business note before we get back to the action. We've got premium ad spots open for brands that align with our love for off-roading. Why partner with us? You'll tap into a community that's passionate, engaged, and growing each day. Plus, your ads stay embedded in our episodes, giving your brand enduring impact to each and every new listener who reviews our archives. We're not doing this to get rich. It's about sustaining high-quality content at the Trailhead. So if you're as committed to adventure as we are, let's talk. Reach out on Instagram or leave a text or voice message at 719-408-0132. There are more details on our Facebook show notes at thetrailheadnetwork.com. All right, let's get back to the trail and roll back into today's episode. You didn't really wheel. Did you bring a Jeep or did you get a Jeep when you came to?
So actually, my Jeep has got a lot of character. So my Jeep was purchased my third Jeep, but this specific Jeep, the white one, was purchased in Hawaii. So it's got some Hawaii mud on it, and it made a venture across the Pacific back here to Washington State, and is wheeled here in Washington State all the way down to Utah and California. So it's got some miles on it.
Nice. And are you military or did you pay to bring that over here?
I'm military, but I still had to pay for it to come over here. Unfortunately, they only ship one. Yeah.
Ouch. How many did you have? Just 2 or 3?
So as far as vehicles, I had 3 vehicles. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll do it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a bill? How much does it cost to move a Jeep across the Pacific?
So across Pacific at the time I did it, I think it was right around $2,200.
I mean,
It's not
it's not
bad. I mean,
terrible. It's better than
considering.
I thought it would
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not too bad.
All right. And out of all of the places you've been, from the north to the south, there, California, Utah, where's your favorite place to wheel? There in Washington?
No. Utah, by far. Utah. Gotta love those red rocks. Yeah.
All right.
Sand Hollow. Gotta go to Sand Hollow. If you've never been there, you have to get there. It's like the mecca of off-roading.
That's I've been in the swell.
It's our home. We love that.
Yes, I'm certainly jealous of you guys. I hope I see you down there at Trail Hero.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be down there for sure, yeah.
All right.
We'll
So you guys,
be-
that's awesome.
And we only have 2 assigned up trails, and we're goofing off the rest of the time. We'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
We're trying to be leaves in the wind.
I don't sign up for the trails. I just, whatever comes my way, comes my way. And yeah, it's always a
Kinda
good
how
time.
we're doing it this time.
We have a couple friends who want to be on that trail, so we decided to sign up for that, and then we're going to be leaves in the wind. We'll be there all week.
Hey, can you excuse me for a second? Lily, that's my drink. Sorry. Lily keeps drinking my drink. Sorry.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, so what we'll do in the future is, I'm kind of hoping that we kind of get a core group of us that meet for this on a regular basis. And like I said, I give everybody a chance to kind of dip in and out based on schedules. If you guys are going to be in Trail Hero, it's going to be real hard for you to do any kind of recording that week. And so for those kinds of things, I hope that we can kind of pull in some of those other folks around the country that aren't necessarily always readily available. Also, I'm trying to get some more ladies in here. I don't want this to be a complete sausage fest when it comes to wheelers. So
here's Lily.
Hey, Lily.
They said
How you
hi.
doing?
Hi.
I've seen
I'm
your
sorry.
account too. You got an account too, right?
Yes.
What was
Yep.
that?
I'm sorry.
I can't hear.
I have it all in my ears right now. Here,
No,
I'll
that's
turn
okay.
it. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn it off. Lily, can you
You should
fix
be
this?
able to echo it.
Oh,
Yeah. Lily's good at this stuff. I'm not. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, can you hear us?
yeah.
There you go.
Oh
Yeah, Lily's got an account too. I've seen hers.
yeah, she's really good at this stuff.
I don't think any of us would say we're good at it.
No.
Definitely not.
Well,
No.
since you're here chatting, Lily, feel free to introduce yourself.
Get them.
Well, I was not part of this. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
I can take you out if you don't have to be if you don't want to be. I'm not going to force you.
No, I'm forcing it.
He's forcing me.
All right.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say hi to you guys. Jason was really excited about the podcast. And
Yeah, it's Lily's fault I fell asleep.
no, it's not. But yeah,
No, I
Lillian,
don't believe him anyway.
I have a Gladiator with gun, and right now it has
All right.
42-inch tires on it, and I honestly love it.
It's a beast. How do you? I don't understand how you get in it still. So
Inside it?
What do you mean?
just step up into it.
Oh,
You're not that.
yeah, it's a workout every time.
Yeah, it's not- I got it.
I'm 6'6", and getting into the Jeep at weird angles is enough for me. So
You're 6'6"?
yeah,
Wow.
You look so
it makes it a
short
real
on
pain in
camera.
the ass. Thanks. I think I try to do I try to do the selfie thing to try to make myself look thin. I think I'm going for that. I don't know if it's working or not.
Yeah, actually, everybody always tells me that I look short because I'm next to my Gladiator in my pictures all the time, but I'm actually like not short. I'm tall. I'm average size.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. All right, awesome. All right, well, I started this off as a podcast just because of that exact reason. There's all these different views from people from Washington State to New York and back. Part of the reason why I was trying to get more women involved is because, frankly, Randy, you guys make up about 30% of my Instagram followers, and that's about what the percentage of the off-roading community is, and I feel like that has gotten better but still has way to go. And doing these kinds of things helps make it easier for folks to get involved, recognize that other women are doing this stuff and don't have to feel intimidated by it at all.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. We'll talk about essentially off-roading. Everything that kind of comes across my Instagram feed on a day-to-day basis that since I've really been pushing it for the last year or so is the stuff I want to chat about. Now, is there anything real quick? I'll ask you guys, is there anything that I didn't mention there that you want to bring up and talk about on this thing on a regular basis?
Oh, we'll be happy to talk about the events that happen out in Utah. There's a few things that happen.
That'll be awesome because you guys are like right there in the middle of it, especially if you're doing those events on a regular basis.
Yeah, and then we're friends with some locals down in San Hollow, so we try to go down there quite often as we like it a lot there. So we try to get down there as often as possible.
Where you guys live?
Cool.
We're in Salt Lake.
We're in Salt Lake area.
Or Salt Lake City.
Sweet.
So we're in northern. Like we were saying earlier, the cool thing is we're about 3 hours from Moab, 4 hours to Sand Hollow, 2 hours to Vernal, 2 hours to Price, an hour to American Fork Canyon, up into like the mountains. We have everything from like dense forest to sand to red rock to.
And that's always the thing that surprised me about Utah is how deserty it is versus how green it is in some places.
Oh, even if you drive through their city, that's like that's crazy right there, just through the highway. You guys are nuts.
It's gorgeous.
The gorgeous mountains that you can see just from the highway. It's like if you look at that every day, sometimes you take it for granted even.
I love how the people in Colorado are always like, yeah, I live in the mountains. And I'm like, you have mountains way over there. I have mountains in my backyard.
Like, some of us exaggerate. Yeah. I mean, I literally do have mountains in my backyard, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But there are a lot of people here that live in Denver and they're like, oh yeah, I've got mountains in my backyard.
No, Denver. I'm saying Denver. Like Denver people, they live on a plateau and their mountains are like these little teeny tiny hills over there. And I'm like,
my favorite is when they live in a skyrise, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we live in the mountains." I'm like, no, you don't, though. It's cute, but you don't.
That's the cool part about Utah is they have granite rocks, they have sandstone, they have there's just a variety of so many. And then when you're out in Vernal, you have shell, which is so fun because it's soft and it's like you gas up everything, but the rock kind of breaks under your tires, so you get this traction that's just like you can't get anywhere in the planet.
It's like the funnest skinny pedal place to wheel.
Same
out here
in
anyway.
Utah is like you can go up with street tires and still climb everything.
Absolutely.
Yep. You can,
yeah, cool. All right, well, let's see. So with the general meet the hosts out the way, I have more news articles than probably I'm going to do anything with this time around because we've kind of gone long on chatting with each other, which is fine by me. I'd rather have this stuff. But I saw the news article that it was a 5th millionth Jeep Wrangler, which surprises me and yet doesn't. I feel like we all put a lot of money and effort into trying to keep them alive and on the road. Before this Jeep, I had a TJ, a 2001 TJ. I bought it maybe a year after it was made, had about 10,000 miles on it when I got it. Anybody else own an old Jeep before they own their current monster?
We had JKs.
But that's not old.
They're not old. Come on, that's not old.
No, I said JKs are not old.
Yeah.
But we're looking at buying a 60s Gladiator. We want to do we want to do a whole and we want rear steer crazy and just make it stupid and
that
maybe
steer,
bob
I
the
saw
bed,
that rear steer on
really piss
Fins
off
one
a bunch
day.
of people.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut the hell out of it.
Are you now? So, would you be adding the 4th Jeep, or is that? Oh, see, I think there's
find one. It might be 6. Probably.
Maybe that's the problem with this news article, and the fact that 80% of all Wranglers sold are still on the road. It's because you don't have any kids, do you?
No.
See, dual income, 4 Jeeps. Yeah, that's how that works.
We're actually dink wads. We are dual income, no kids with a dog.
What?
Yeah, that's yeah. It's the Dinkwads thing came out last year or the year before, and I think a lot of us embraced it, me and my wife included. So we're all going to get along real well when we meet each other. Yep.
I heard dual income, no kids. Can I move in? I will be your.
No, because then you become a kid, and we are no longer dual income with no kids.
Oh no, I can do basic maintenance. We're good.
All right, well, if we can make that 3 income, no kid, we might be able to chat.
Yes.
3 incomes, no kids.
Let's see here. Oh, look at that! Jeep's offering a lifetime customer care package at $5,000 in performance parts. I wonder what that all includes. When I got my Jeep, it was the last year that they were offering the Chrysler Max Care warranty. And I've had a transmission rebuilt. I've had a couple of other things. It's only cost me $100 every time, and it's hard to argue with that. So if they're offering anything like that, man, they should be. Buyer was from Camden. Do you know them by any chance?
I don't. Well, no, I don't. Even though Camden is literally about maybe 45 minutes from me, which is funny. I didn't realize that they're from Camden. Yeah. Yes. So. You know what's funny? Maybe I do know them. Like,
see, now you're gonna have to.
I don't
even
even
poke out,
realize
or you have to poke around.
They purchased
and ask
that
your
Jeep.
Yep.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Let's see
Yep.
here. And let's see. I know. Did you guys? Pope Randy. Did you guys hear about the GMC that was stranded at 14,000 feet in Colorado? I feel like that's kind of a local story.
What was that?
No, we didn't hear about that.
So last 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and this happens every couple times every year, but in this case, this is the first time I've ever seen anybody that tried to go up a hiking trail. And they drove, looks like either a rented or at least a very out-of-state GMC truck. The trail kept going, and I'm like, the app did not tell you that was a road still. I'm sorry, there's no way.
Blame
that
it on
app
the app.
did. And most likely that's exactly what the cops told you when they charged you $2+ grand to recover it. So
tread light.
it's a tread lightly
really.
Indeed. And that's the thing is it's always these kinds of news stories that break through, and the Drive will pick it up, or Yahoo News will pick it up, and the next thing you know, it's all about how these terrible drivers are going out into the tundra, and it's one person. It's one person who's not paying attention, who's obviously ignoring all of the signs telling them to turn around, and then we end up with this story. And Jason, and before you guys got here, we were talking about Black Bear Pass, and a lot of the accidents over the last few years have not been from people who were driving actively at the time. It's been from somebody who was parked too close to the edge, or they were goofing around knowingly, and it wasn't because someone just slipped a tire where they weren't supposed to. It was because they were doing something they weren't supposed to be doing.
This is not going to look good. By the way, this is not going to look good. But I thought you were.
Oh, it doesn't look good at all. Yep, no, it doesn't look good at all.
No, my roommate was bringing a keg of beer over here.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
Again, here's the nice part: is I'll be able to cut and edit that out, and I'll make people I'll show that in the outtakes.
All right,
just for you. So yeah, they said that the estimated cost started at $1,600. It was probably more than that. Apparently, they had to take a 12,000-pound track up there to get it, and basically pull it back. Expensive, stupid, and don't do it. I don't understand why this is a big situation. This guy went for at least 6 miles on a single track. Like, he had no business being where he was. And then that brings us all the way back to Black Bear. You guys all heard this story, right? The Black Bear Pass story from the last few weeks with the sheriff had it closed, and then it was open, but it was kind of closed, but it was kind of open.
Yeah,
okay.
We heard about that.
So
we were actually planning on doing it while we were in Montrose, and then it kind of, that story came out that it wasn't actually open.
Yeah, and it's funny. I should have looked it up, and I did not check before we started recording today to see whether or not it's actually open. I just kind of picked up from this news article. I know that I should probably start out by saying I have a couple of biases about this article. I feel a certain way about how this sheriff has conducted himself with regards to this trail. But if you're not familiar, there was this last season of snow was pretty rough in the high country for Colorado, especially around the areas of the San Juan Mountains where Black Bear Pass is. And the problem is that a lot of tourists do these trails, and they don't necessarily always check trail conditions before they get out there. And somebody went out there with a group, and they tried to open the trail themselves, essentially bypassing some of the snow, digging some of the snow out, and going on what the sheriff would later say was a closed road or a closed trail. And then that's kind of where it gets a little less fun. Bill Masters came out and called them irresponsible drivers, labeling them as ass clowns. And he wasn't just talking about these guys. He was actually referring to pretty much, I think he feels like that is everybody that goes up on Black Bear Pass. He's never been a friend to the OHV
off-road
families.
community.
Yeah, he doesn't mind the hikers. They'll post the sheriff's county page will talk about sour rescues till the cows come home for hikers that don't seem to affect the taxpayer in any way, shape, or form. But he'll complain hard about these guys. They didn't even attempt to close the gates, as far as I know. And then you get online and you start hearing some of the chatter, even from some of the other podcasts that I was listening to. I'm like, you guys, I get this guy in the Nissan did something stupid. Like, don't get me wrong. He went around snow. He went somewhere he shouldn't have been. But there's the other side of it there. Like, is the county have any responsibility to notify the public better, post signs at the trailhead, put gates up? What do you guys think?
I think that if you're going to go out, you should check the conditions in the area. So I kind of feel that way. But I also feel like it was so gray. Like, I had heard all over the place that it was open. And then when I heard this story, I went and looked at the page and I was like, oh, well, it's clearly closed. I mean, we have so many mountains close to us. Like, we have American Fork and we've not been able to get up there. So we just checked the page to see if it's even open. Right. So I think if you're going to go into an area you don't know, check.
But if it's closed, there's a gate.
But if there's closed, there should be a gate. I mean, if they really are good, I mean, that's a scary road that if there's washouts and things and people should be up there, it's a safety concern. You should gate it off. So I see two sides to this story, but I think that in the off-road community, check first, make sure that you know it's open. But second of all, if you're if they want it to be closed and it is a scary road, if there's going to be washouts and stuff, you don't want people up there, you should put a gate on it.
I would tend to agree, yeah.
There's the fact that if you get into something, you pretty much know you shouldn't be in it. Turn the hell around.
Right, that too.
And there is that as well. I think there's too much of that in these situations, where people to get themselves in and they didn't need to in the first place.
I feel like a lot of people, they get themselves in that situation too, tend to want to, not to put a bad name with people wanting to wheel by themselves, but I feel like from personal experience, well, not me personally, but just like things I've heard and friends and buddies, it's just like people make bad decisions and they decide to do it by themselves, and then they get stuck in a situation and they're wheeling by themselves.
As a person
stuck.
who wheels almost exclusively alone, and we'll talk about that in a different podcast in another day, but that is a legitimate argument to be made. Not to mention the second vehicle, just kind of, temper your reaction and kind of make sure that you're approaching these things with a logical head, not trying to get out of something or do something stupid. I think my only thing about that, and real quick, Jason and Lily, do you guys have anything that you wanted to talk about specific to the Black Bear Pass situation?
I honestly, me and Lily have been moving for the past 2.5, 3 weeks, so we haven't been keeping very current on things, so I apologize.
That's okay.
But I will tell you, just listening to you guys, if you're going to wheel alone, then, my opinion, you have to have some experience and know your limits. Outside of that, you should not be wheeling alone.
Also, equipment.
No, right. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot to unpack in that question, and you're right. And there's limits around what I will do alone and what I won't do alone. We go out with a satellite and some other safety measures in place to make sure that we're not completely alone out there, if you will. But yeah, it's definitely a question. But I think it's more to Randy's point, is that there's a lot of folks that don't either know where to check, they don't know how to check, or they just don't want to check. And I'm not naive to the fact either. If they put gates in, someone's going to cut the lock.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I really think when it comes to alone wheeling, I think the ones that usually are the ones that everybody's talking about are the ones that just don't know. They just don't know.
It's and it's usually fresh. It's usually green people to the sport, folks that have not gotten themselves in those kinds of situations before, and they find themselves in the worst possible situation the first time.
Yeah, they're the people who just bought a Jeep and they're like, oh, everybody told me I can go wherever I want, and then they do it and they're like, okay, maybe there's more to it than this, and it's too late. Yeah,
those YouTube guys showed me how to do it, and it was easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like somebody showed me how to shift into 4-wheel drive. I can do all of this now. No,
I can do that, right? That's easy. Yeah.
It seems to be a common mentality. I have 4-wheel drive. I need to take this vehicle on a trail, and then that's how you end up with your Jeep Renegades in the middle of Sand Hollow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it. Yeah. They get good gas mileage, right?
Yeah, they do really good gas mileage.
Yeah, just don't take it on Hell's Revenge, I think is what we're saying, Jason. That's.
Oh, I would try that.
You could probably take it on Hell's Revenge, actually. You don't need clearance for that.
I mean, you could technically. That was probably a terrible example, but yeah.
I'd probably do Fins and Things and Hell's Revenge, but it wouldn't do Metal Match.
Oh, everybody can do Fins. My wife has only done the first fifth of it before she bailed. She bailed out at the first exit. She just did not like the up and down. She's like, I feel like I'm going to fall over. And I'm like, we're not going anywhere. It's a half-ton vehicle. We're upside down.
Those loop-de-loops in Moab that get you every time.
You know what? It's the blue sky that does it for her, and it's the blue sky syndrome. She hates anything where she gets up on a rock and she can't see over the hood. She can't see in front of her, essentially. So I get it. That's part I enjoy, though. So that's me. All right. We will. So next time, let's talk about. I want to do a trail highlight on each one of these. And Jason in New York, you may not have a trail highlight. Sometime you want to talk about Rosh, or after you've made a trip out this way, we can talk about a trail that you want to highlight that you've done.
New York.
This will be.
You're from New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in I'm
upstate.
I'm in New York. So that's up for debate, but so I'm originally from New York City, but I moved to Rockland County, which is pretty much an hour and a half from New York City. I like to disassociate. A lot of people, including myself, like to disassociate ourselves from New York City itself. So we say we're upstate because we're out of the 5 boroughs of the county of New York City. But I guess
I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I was gonna make a joke and be like, "What are you from Spanish Harlem? You got some good trails there, or what?"
Yeah, no, I grew up in Queens, and it's just that there's like I was telling JD, there's no places to wheel out here. It just sucks. Roch Creek is the closest place that I have to where I am officially, and that's like about 3.5 hours from where I live. So I've been there. It's just very few.
We got to get you to the West Coast. We got to get you to the West. Let's go.
Absolutely. I pulled up on Google Maps from where from my location. Here it is. 1 day and 6 hours from where I live to Moab. I'm so jealous of you guys being so close to Moab.
That's easy.
I don't know if you know.
I know.
What's his name? Wide Load.
Dave.
Wide Load. JT. Dave. Yeah. So Dave, he's got the big Gladiator. He was one of the first ones that had the Bob Bed from Motobill.
Yeah.
He's from upstate New York, and he made the venture out to Moab this past year. We talked for like months, and finally I got him convinced. And I tell you what, if I see any more pictures from that goddamn Moab trip with him, I'm just gonna be like, bro, go wheel something else. But I'm telling you what, he had the time of his life. I'm telling you, that 1 day travel is amazing. And reach out to him. He will tell you everything. Yeah. It's worth it. You have to come out. It's amazing.
Well, we'll try to find you, Jason. We'll try to find you somebody for the means of this podcast. Maybe you can double up and you guys can both rent a trailer and split it.
Hell yeah.
We met Maka
absolutely.
Out there in upstate New York.
We took him out to Moab.
We took him to Moab.
I'm familiar with them,
did Hell's Revenge and Fins and Things with them. And that was a lot of fun. They drove out here across the whole country, did Highway 6, stopped around. It was like a hell of a trip, and they were living out of their Gladiator
for a month.
That's awesome.
For a month.
Ooh, that's stinky.
You know, the Gladiator seats are comfy if you have the like nice leather ones.
And that tells you how slow Gladiators are. It took them a month to get from New York all the way to.
Ooh, shots fired.
He stayed out for a month and he did Colorado, Utah. Like if you come out here, you should do like a 2-week and like do all of Utah or like do a little bit of Colorado and then like, cause you could do Colorado, hit Moab and then go down to Sound Hollow. Like you could totally like do all the areas.
You can get a good feel of each state 3 or 4 days per and then kind of head on back. Yeah. Yeah,
that's definitely ultimately that's definitely a bucket list item for me. 100%.
All right. Well, let's see here. What else? So if you guys have a trail, I'm looking for Lily. If you decide to join us on a regular basis, I would love to, Jason. I would love for you guys to share some stuff out in Washington. I know one of our trails off road per people is out there in Idaho, but I don't necessarily know what's up there in Washington. I haven't really taken a really good look up there, so I'm looking forward to anything you guys have to share in the future.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. And Lily, are you going to share us on a? Sorry, I've been making a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's all right. You got to be careful how you phrase that because that could get real weird real fast.
Yeah. Are you going to be with us?
Yeah, sure. I can join you guys.
Okay. That's awesome. You don't have to every time. This is an in and out thing. So if you guys can't show up for an event, just don't worry about it. So if you got a highlight for me, shoot it to me ahead of time. Mine's going to be Argentine the next time. We'll talk about that next time. Like I said, we spent a lot of time chatting amongst each other, and I'd much rather keep it in that arena. But for our listeners, in the going forward on future podcasts, you guys will get a better idea of the trails that we have in our individual areas. We're going to give you a highlight from each one of our areas, probably focus on one each week, maybe 2, depending on how much time we have.
I'm good. I got Monster and Jaeger, so I can keep going all night.
Hey, I mean, I'll take some Monster.
No, yeah.
Jason's got to get out of here soon, so he doesn't get in trouble with his significant other too.
Yeah, I've got the in-laws coming in, so I've got to actually head out. I'm gonna head out now. Yeah.
See you obviously on the next time, and then.
Nice to meet you guys. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the Jason podcast for sure. 100%. I keep saying 100%. Can you edit that out? No, I said 100% about like 1,000 times. I don't know why.
Make him say 1,000% instead. Throw in a couple thousands.
1,000%.
I hate to tell you what Randy and Pope don't know is that when
1,000,000%.
we met before, I was telling them that's a George Carlin voice doing our intro, and that's just because I used an AI voice editor to make that. So don't I can make it happen.
I'm sure.
Right,
I trust you on that.
A lot, man. Yep.
I'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much. All right.
All right. We'll see you.
Likewise. See you guys.
That's awesome, man.
I got that same Jeep sign you got behind you.
That's my sign.
You know,
that's not my sign.
Who is it? Michael's?
No, the Jeep one.
Michael's or Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
One of those two guys that always sells
you don't
those
go to those places. It's my sign.
It's not your sign.
No, I think I bought that in the middle of COVID. I think I was spending way too much money online, so I'm like, yeah, let's buy more crap I don't need. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember where I got it, but it's not your sign.
It is mine.
It's not your sign.
Okay.
Jesus. Sorry, guys. Shit.
That's all right.
All the time.
All right, so let's skip the land use stuff as well, since we touched on the Black Bear Pass stuff. This will leave us plenty of stuff to talk about next time. Since we're doing this podcast for the first time, what is it that you guys would tell a first timer out on the trail that they needed to have on their Jeep, in their bag? What is it that is the first and most essential thing before they put wheels on dirt the first time? We'll start with Jason.
All right, so most people are going to say a winch automatically. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that they need at least some D-rings, some shackles, and a kinetic rope. At a minimum, they need those two things. I don't know how many times I've been out on the trails and somebody gets hung up and they're like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, do you have any type of kinetic rope? Do you have anything? No. Or they'll have a kinetic rope and they don't have any shackles, no soft shackles, no D-rings, nothing. It's like, yeah. So
nothing to actually make a connection with.
Yeah, exactly. So if they have those at a minimum, that's okay. You know, if you're going to be by yourself. See, this is the part where I get upset about, is everybody talks about you need a winch. Well, if you're wheeling by yourself, yeah, you need a winch. And if you get you get hung up in a real extreme place, which a new person, odds are hung up in a really extreme place is probably not the case. If at least they had a kinetic rope and some soft shackles, somebody can pull them out. But it's like, come on, you got to have those at the bare basics. Like that's like, that should be your first thing. If you're going to go on a trip anywhere, if you're going to go off road, you're going to go on dirt, you need those. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I went to Moab without a winch.
Yeah, I mean, Lily.
You don't need a winch.
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
You don't need a winch for Moab. I'll agree with you.
So I would tell you,
someone's going to come by in Moab or Sand Hollow usually.
So Lily did do Pritchett Canyon without a winch, but we did it because I just rebuilt her Gladiator. I was going to be with her, and I was like, "You don't need a winch right now." She had a rusted up steel cable, and I was like, "Just leave that off there. It looked like shit." So it was like, "Don't put that on there. I got you." But outside of that, I mean, she did Pritchett Canyon with no winch. So yeah.
All right. What about you, Lily? Anything, or are you in that same boat?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're starting off-roading, like, earlier you guys were talking about, people that go off-roading by themselves. I'm a person that started off-roading without any, like, off-roading friends. Like, they wanted to start learning. Don't look at me that way. So it's like, I didn't even know that I needed to air down my tires. I didn't know I needed to disconnect my sway bars. I didn't know anything like that. And, like, you go out there and you think your Jeep is going to be able to do all those things, like flex, like it's supposed to flex as a Jeep, right? So, like, going off-roading, all the things he said, yes, you don't really need a winch, but yes, you need, like, the tools.
It can do a lot. Those Jeeps can do a lot, but they're not.
The tools to...
A lot of it's driver,
air down, disconnect the sway bars, those little things.
The little things, right? All right.
Oh, liquid death.
You're good.
I used to think that was alcohol, and then I found out.
Yeah, so did I. Don't feel bad. I had to get told.
I love drinking it at work because it trips people out. They have to take a second glance.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
If it's your first time out, like, I think bring somebody who knows what they're doing, like you were saying. Like, I think, like, it's like, I mean, when we first started wheeling, the first thing we did is we hired somebody in Moab to take us out.
Wow.
We don't know this stuff.
Okay.
We don't know, like, I mean, I think it's really important to, like you were saying, don't go out by yourself, but, like, I think go out with people who are equipped and know what they're doing so you can learn what things you need. Like, over time, our kit is bigger and bigger and bigger, and we take so many things. We take everything that you could possibly need, but what you need.
Yeah, I've added a lot of things and removed a lot of things over the years.
It's like, we know if we bring it, we won't need it. So,
but you know what? That's perfect because, if you bring everything you think you need, we bring everything we think we need, and you go out wheeling as a group, somebody's got what you need. No.
Yep.
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of shit on this podcast about being a lone wheeler. Yeah.
There's that time that one of your friends brought a van and spare.
Perfect example is I blew a serpentine belt and I didn't have a spare with me. Some people be like, "Oh my God, you didn't have one with you?" I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a serpentine belt. I also didn't have a Pentastar 3.6 liter engine in my back seat to swap out. But
exactly.
But somebody,
just you? I thought it was just me then.
Yeah,
all right.
But you know what? Somebody on the trail with us was like, "Hey, this happened to me before," and he happened to have a serpentine belt with him, and that got me off the trail. It was perfect. Yeah. It was phenomenal. Yeah.
Our friend the Rubistina has 2 or 3 serpentine belts for his motor type.
Sweet. I'm going to wheel with him because even though I went through that, I still don't have an extra one with me.
Yeah.
See, and like
they're
we
good
were
people.
saying, we have radiator hoses because we've had that problem before.
Well, and
we're never going to
carried
have
it-
a problem with the radiator hose because we
I
have
carried
one.
a serpentine belt on my TJ for that exact reason because I blew one, and I knew that it could happen again on that particular.
Randy has an
Jeep,
extra
so.
serpentine belt for Jen in the back. of
I'm
hers,
big.
too.
I'm big on huge ass control arm bolts and nuts. I got all those. So if you guys need one of those, let me know.
Well,
I
and
need
that's
a
kind of
new
right.
control arm.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
shit,
what'd you say, Randy?
we were wanting to bring after the last trip we did to Colorado. We're like, damn, we need to bring like a spare drive shaft.
It gets real pricey if you want to get real spared up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
why
the
it makes
great
you
part
laugh when
about the
somebody's like,
off-road
"You know."
community, right? Is like there's so many of us. It's like you could be on a trail and you don't have to be with somebody, but you could break something and just say, holy shit, I need this. And then somebody on the trail with you is like, you know what? I know somebody that's here. They're not on this run with us, but I know that they have this part and they're just down here. And it all works out. That's why I love the.
I have never been turned down assistance on a trail. I have never turned down assistance on a trail.
Yeah.
And it feels awesome. So, I don't have no problem. There was, I was on a trail near here. Actually, not near here. It was a little bit further up north. And the guy just ran out of gas. I'm like, well, then I got a spare tank. I've got plenty to get home. So it's the little things.
Yes.
It is.
So, Pope, what about you? Randy, by the way, that was awesome. I didn't even think about that as a potential. Just have a person that knows what the hell it is they're doing.
Exactly.
So then you know what to bring later, right? Like you're only going to learn over time. Like it's just.
Well,
like,
and at the very least, if you get yourself into trouble, you have somebody with that experience you don't have yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I totally agree with the soft shackle and a kinetic rope, but I also think that people underestimate airing down, real. Like
I mentioned that.
being able to air down and have that nice soft ride while you're driving and the extra traction. Like if you're just going on a dirt road, like some sort of a slightly bumpy road, just airing down on that's going to make a big difference. If you go from like 37 where you normally keep your Jeep to 20, we usually on the dirt road go down 15, 12, and when we're on rock crawly stuff, we're like 5, 6, maybe 8 at the most.
Same.
But it's all about comfort and traction, and that's
And where you're at.
But it doesn't matter if you have good traction if someone can't pull you out. So you got to be able to get out, and the bare minimum is the kinetic rope. We've used the kinetic rope more than we've used the winch by a long ways.
And I think you guys have sold me on the kinetic. I've known I needed to add one for a while, but as a person, like I said before, and we'll talk more about it in different episodes. But
Hey, I'll tell you what, too, do your research on the kinetic, because you can get some ones that are just not so good, and then you get ones that are just phenomenal.
Oh no, I know the guys that sell them here, and like I live in Colorado. That's the one good thing about it is that I buy a lot of these guys who make this stuff, so it's really great to get a chance to meet them at the local events and stuff. So yeah, it's really been more about just I've had some other concerns going on here, and I guess you guys blew me out of the water because my first one is always a winch, but to Jason's point, it's largely because I wheel a lot by myself, and I know that having that self-recovery and that ability to get myself out of those situations is really important, not just to me, but to my wife, who would probably divorce me if I didn't actually have that. So
yeah, I mean, we've been in some super sketchy stuff where you needed one or more winches to pull everything out. I mean, that's the nature of how we wheel now. But when you're just starting out, that's not very likely that you're going to be that way. You might get stuck in some mud and be grateful you have a winch to help pull you back out of it. But you're not going to be like tipped over and doing like a triangle of death style recovery with multiple winches going on. We've done those. That's not normal.
How I feel right there is like newcomers. They're not going to be in a position, and if they are, they probably should not be in this sport because they just surpassed all the fear factors that keep them safe. No.
Well, and also, like, are they even going to be able to know how to use that winch? Like that, it might be more dangerous to have one when you're newer because do you even really know how to use it if you don't even know what you're doing out on the trail?
Very true.
Like, to be honest.
Very true.
Yeah,
like, do you even know how to turn the thing on? Do you know how to use the thing? Like, are you going to like take out a tree or a rock that you
and
don't
most
know.
of us can caveman our thoughts around a tug rope and towing someone out with a rope. So.
Yeah, I think that the problem there is that you and I, Pope, we have that engineering brain. I think that we always work in that, and we've got lines and stuff going on that shouldn't be going on for most people. But yeah, I think you're right.
I feel like this right here, this discussion right here is probably going to get a shit ton of comments of like, you guys are so stupid. You have to have a winch. I'm like, yes, you probably should. We're not saying you shouldn't. We're just saying you should probably.
We're saying what's number one, right? Exactly.
You should probably get lockers first. Like get some lockers.
Those 50-inch light bars though are
lockers
really
before
important
lights.
for everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's lights before lockers. That's a joke.
I'm glad she brought it up where that was a joke.
Get a smiley face light bar first.
I already had lockers before I got the smileys. Okay.
That's all. Hey, I had angry eyes on my Jeep for actually up until now. The angry eyes are being retired, assuming that I get my Jeep back.
I have to say I'm very
so we
proud.
all make decisions.
I'm very proud I never put angry eyes on my Jeep.
and a quick story, if you guys don't mind, and he's going to be mad at me, but I don't care. There's actually a guy that I know that wheels, and he's pretty extreme. He's Adventures by Night.
I love him.
We love Dominic. Yeah, we know
love
him.
Dom.
Dom?
He's like, I love him. I'm trying to convince him to get an adventure cat.
Dom rocks like
Angry
the
Eyes.
Angry Eyes or Gladiator grill or whatever. Yeah. And when the first time I wheeled with that cat, he was like calm, cool, and collective, and he's pretty extreme. And I was like, this guy's got angry.
Look, I tell people all the time, I don't care what you wheel. I don't care what you put on it. I don't care what kind of ridiculous paint job that you put on it.
You know why he wheels with that?
Why?
To throw you off?
No, because people keep talking shit about it, and he's like, bring it.
I mean, I was going to get rid of them 3 years ago, but then I'm like, these are two people like giving them shit. Like, it's just amazing how much people, they really enjoy it. The only reason I decided to.
Yeah. You've got the gladiators. They hate the gladiator, and he eats it up. He's like, bring it. Tell me how it's not a Jeep and I can't go over rocks.
And they hate how I rock crawl with it and don't camp with it.
I don't know if you guys see my my Instagram reel, but gladiators aren't Jeeps. It's like a truck.
So we have the.
Oh boy! Now we apparently have an internal problem. Yeah. Awesome.
His is not a truck. His is a rock princess. There is not a couch that he's going to put in the back of it. There is nothing. Like, there is that. Gem to go get shit because his Jeep's not going to cover it. It's not a truck. It's a princess.
How long is your bed now? 4 foot long? How long is that truck?
Yeah,
about 4 foot long.
Yeah, about 4 foot long. Yeah. So
we have to borrow the neighbor's truck to go get a
I am 2.5 feet taller than your truck bed is long.
Yeah, you couldn't lay in it.
No, you couldn't lay in it. Although I think it would be a fun taunt to put one of those car top tents on the back of the motorboat bed, and then go take it to the Rubicon, just to kind of be like, look, I can overland too, jackholes.
I'm telling you, at the very least, we could probably do something with the green screen. I'm telling you.
No. I'm teasing the overland people, but I really there's no wrong way to build these gladiators. No. There's no wrong way to build Jeeps. And I just found something I like a lot with it, and I've decided to make the best possible rock crawler that you can make.
And that's all you got to do.
My gladiator.
That's all you got to do.
I know we need to get now. I know you, so we need to get the gladiators out together.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, my gladiators.
Get our friend Josie with her gladi.
The what?
My gladiator started as an overlander. So the first time I built my gladiator, it was set up for overlanding, and that was the plan to overland with it. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, we were trying to off-road it with really heavy
with an overlander
on.
Yeah,
that was the issue.
Yep.
And then it's like, yes, you can off-road and overland at the same time, but you can't fully do the both. You can't fully do the two of them.
Yeah,
so
no, you can't.
I disagree.
You have to commit one way or the other.
I actually disagree with what she just said, and I'll pay for that later. But no, you can build anything to do anything, but it's very difficult to build something that's going to do both. And with hers, it's a pretty pricey adventure to try to build a dual-purpose rock crawler. What do you call that?
Overlander.
Overlanding.
What do you call it?
If you're gonna do that, that gets pretty pricey. I mean, the amount of money you're gonna have to invest in that rear suspension to try to do rock crawling.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just
you basically need to get like triple bypass shocks in the back so that it can hold itself
and
up.
I mean,
with
triple
all that weight.
shocks are normally reserved for, I'm going to fast run through the desert. But at the same time, you need that stuff if you're going to try to stack I don't know, how heavy is that?
It was
shit?
really, really heavy, the
Like-
top.
Oh,
Top.
at
Well, then
least
you have
200 or
that
300
top
pounds
weight.
minimum.
I can't imagine trying to crawl and like.
That's
having
the
a
top
weight
heavy
with you.
aspect of it would be.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
at the
so
end of the
like-
day, you just got to be efficient. And like Lily, she met me, and it was like, I ain't fucking sleeping in a tent. I'm going to sleep in my camper that goes in my truck. We're good.
I also think, and I think there's a lot of us that, like, I know with my TJ, I had a lot of bad advice on my first build because I didn't know what I was doing. And honestly, I'd probably still have my TJ if I hadn't gotten that bad advice, because I would have been able to keep it longer term, because I would have been able to spend money elsewhere and things. That's something we can talk about at a different time.
Yeah.
So it's
The
it's
Jeep you
now
let
30
get away,
minutes. Oh, I still miss it. I know it got sold locally. I know I still look forward every once in a while. I know I'm going to see it on a trail someday, and then I'm going to be really jealous that they have it, not me.
Hey, did you have Dick's Epic rims or wheels? Sorry, it depends on what part of the nation you're in, whether it's a rim or a wheel.
No.
I just said that because I had them, and I feel really weird about it.
Yeah. I don't know if we should get into that or not. I feel a little...
No, there actually was a time back in the day where like everybody had these Dick's Epic wheels. I almost said rims again because I'm Northeast, but everybody who will listen to this is like, they probably know when I say Dick's Epic fucking wheels, they're gonna know which ones those are. Yeah, everybody has.
That's awesome.
It just shows my.
So, and oh, don't feel bad. I know I look like I'm 25, but I'm actually 43. So
Jesus, you're old, man.
yeah, I know. I don't feel like I don't feel good about it. I'm not.
No,
gonna
the
say
beard,
it's a
the
good thing.
beard makes you look young, man.
Yeah.
See, and here I'm glad because
You got the opposite problem I do.
On camera, I don't see any silver or anything.
Oh, there's a little bit here, but
Is
it's kind of that it's that very distinguished gray right now. It won't be for much longer. I feel like it's going away. I think that's all you need, Pope. You just need a little bit of that just for men.
No, Pope is like, he just looks pimp. He looks a boss.
I mean, you still look younger than me somehow. At least I feel like that's me.
I think it's
Yeah,
the glasses. He's got that studious look. Yeah.
I'm 46.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
All right, Lily. I'm gonna guess Randy, you're the youngest.
Out of the
See
two
what
of
I did
us. Oh, I wish
Out of
I was
everybody.
the youngest.
See,
well, I'm
I'm
43.
trying.
I'm 43 too.
Hey, birthday buddies. All right, cool. Lily.
I am 31.
Okay, so you
What?
are the
See,
youngest.
she's the baby.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm 31.
Oh, you
Don't let her
told me.
get to you. Now you tell me. Oh boy, you guys have a lot of conversations to have after this podcast. All right. So yeah, guys, what'll happen now is I will finish up a little later tonight. I'll get available all the different video recordings from recording today, and then I will get an opportunity to sort through all of them and then kind of cut it into something that makes sense for us. Take out the extra stuff. I'll do a rough cut first, and then on the final edit through, I'll take out as many of the as many as the 100% as I can for Jason, those kinds of things. And then that'll also give me an opportunity then to create some clips that we can share on various social media stuffs. There's some stuff that I have that should apparently do that pretty much, not automatically, but should take a lot of the hard stuff out for us so that
His shirt
can do
says
this.
on it.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on our inaugural episode of The Trailhead. We hope you'd enjoyed cruising along this bumpy road with us. Next time, we're fueling up for an even deeper dive into the trail resources that'll get your wheels turning. Apps like Trails Off-Road, Gaia, Onyx, and more. We'll explore this how this tech is revolutionizing our off-road experiences, from integrated navigation to search and rescue, and even the part that it doesn't help. I'm JD, and for the whole crew here at the Trailhead, thanks for joining us today. We've reached the end of this trail. We'll see you at the next Trailhead. Hey Trailheads, it's JD here again. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Trailhead. We love bringing you this content, and if you love listening to it, there are a couple of ways you can support us to keep the adventure going. First off, spread the word. If you could take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else it is you're listening, it makes a huge difference for us. And hey, give us a shout out on your socials, tag us, and we'll make sure to return the love. Next, if you head on over to our Buzzsprout website, you'll find linked at thetrailheadnetwork.com. There's an option to send us a few bucks. Now, don't worry, this isn't for new mods or anything. We're putting every dollar back into making the show as beastie as possible. That includes everything from our hosting services and equipment to our goals to bring you special episodes and content you won't find anywhere else. And speaking of exclusive content, keep an eye out for our upcoming Patreon page or something very similar. We've got some ideas to send y'all some great stuff as part of some subscription. Every bit helps, and we appreciate your support more than we can say. Now, let's get back to the trails.